Earlier this year, an environmental advocacy group called the Aransas Project filed a suit against the Texas Commission on Environmental Quality over the regulation of freshwater flows in the Guadalupe River down to the Aransas National Wildlife Refuge, where a small population of whooping cranes suffered certain declines in population as a result of a drought 2 years ago. Their theory is that because of the drought and the divergence from water out of the river, the salinity in the bay system around the Aransas National Wildlife Refuge dropped to a point where whooping cranes started dying. And the complaint alleges that this is a taking of protected wildlife under the Endangered Species Act. Now, we have done a review of cases across the country, and there are cases on both sides where state agencies or even the federal government have been accused of takings of wildlife under the Endangered Species Act as a result of not adjusting or adjusting their management of water flows because of a drought or because of some other natural condition. And in general, if a natural event is what causes the losses to the wildlife, the state is not going to be liable for a taking. Most of the litigation is going to revolve on interpretation of the Endangered Species Act, because the Endangered Species Act is such an expansive exercise of federal power. And unfortunately, what's really at stake is probably not going to be determinative of the issue, which is the balance of federal and state power. States have always controlled the quality. States have always been in control of water quantity, whereas the federal government has been more in the role of regulating water quality. But we've seen in the current administration a desire to expand federal environmental regulatory power all across the front. And using the citizen suit provision of the Endangered Species Act is one example of the ways in which federal law is infringing on the state's traditional areas of regulation. And so the Aransas litigation is one that will have important consequences for the country as a whole. It's expected to go to trial in March of next year, and we'll be keeping a close eye on it.